Hello everyone, welcome to the Jenkins Infrastructure Weekly Team Meeting. Today we are the 27th of May 2025. Around the virtual table we have myself, Damien Duportal, Stéphane Merle, Chris Stern, and Chirag. I guess it's I don't know your full name. Don't state to add it on the notes. Let's get started with the announcements. First, Jenkins weekly release. So last week we were able to release as usual during the Tuesday full day 2.5.11. No issue. We didn't see the Maven metadata problem we had 2 weeks ago. So good news. I mean, Artifactory didn't block the Maven metadata. This week, 2.5.12 started on time. You have the link to the discussion. It started 1 hour and a half ago, more or less. So expect the release to be finished in the upcoming 2 to 3 hours. On announcement, reminder that this week is a slow week. It was a US holidays Monday, so most of our US colleagues weren't available. Jay is ill, so he's not available today and most probably won't be there tomorrow. And Stefan and I, we are off Thursday and Friday. So overall, expect low bandwidth and low availability from the infra team until next Tuesday. We have guests, so Chris and Chirac from the GSOC LLM project. So welcome. Mike is yours, and we will proceed with the rest of the meeting afterwards.
Okay. So, Chilak, do you have any questions you want to ask? Like, the ones we discussed last week about like the pain points.
Can you remind me because I don't remember?
I think no. I think we discussed last week for during the LM GSOC meeting. So Chilak may have some questions he wanted to ask because he did
Yes.
questions.
So actually, I wanted to ask what are the main pain points which like you face when you're building a Jenkins job? Like we get a lot of errors, like we have some kind of like flaky test, maybe the some problem due to code or some problems like that. I want to ask what are these problems, like the major problems that you guys face, and which aspects are the like we should be focusing on.
Um, may I'm sorry to interrupt. May I ask you to speak closer to your mic or use a headset because the sound is really bad. I'm having issue to hear the sound.
Okay, really sorry for that. I change my position. I'm audible now.
Let's try like this.
Hello.
Yep.
Okay. So I just want to ask, like, what are the main problems that we face when, like, we get errors for the Jenkins job site, the build failures? What are the main problems that we face? And like, also something that's like kind of rare problems that we can face. Sometimes it's like flaky tests. Sometimes we have the error due to code, which was not tested properly. Maybe something like that. Or there were like few classifications that I made. I wanted to ask if I made the right classifications as well. Do we have those problems or not?
I'm sorry, the sound is awful. I didn't catch what you asked or what was the pain point. Chris, if you heard better, can you help?
Yeah, let me try because like I think his I'm sure it may have some like issues because like we meant to ask like is there any commonly encountered issues like some pain points like we may be able to help address for, with our LM like infra stats or like usage stats project for like helping to debug issues with some some data we collected say from we already got some sample from Mike, but we're gonna generate more from one of our controller. So we just want to ask, like, is there any source information we can use to find out like what else we need to know to do a project better?
I'm really sorry. I don't understand. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. Let me ask again. So if we are going to like have a project on using LM to help troubleshoot infra problems. So wondering like if you guys have a checklist, or is there any place that's in a public domain we can find like more information about the pain points you may encounter, like on a day-to-day basis, regarding a portion of the data that can be made publicly available.
Okay, I think I understand. Thanks.
Yeah.
I will say with the public data, having the ability to generate visual cartography of the infrastructure, that's something we don't have time. It's not something we need. It's not something we prioritize because it's not an immediate need. It's just better to decrease the entry barrier step. Then, other than that, I still fail to see the point of what could an LLM system could bring us, could bring on the table
Yeah.
without putting the infrastructure in danger.
Okay.
Either the valuable information is sensitive and shouldn't be on an LLM, or the cost of running the LLM, so compute and storage, cannot be lower than what we need, or just learning the problem and fixing it. So I'm still searching for element where it could help on the infra part. Most of the pain points we have cannot be solved by an LLM system.
Okay.
Either because these are outside the scope. For instance, we have issue with sponsorship. We have to find a proper way. But right now, I still haven't seen any LLM helping us on optimizing cost. Most 99%, the things we tried said, hey, use whatever things, which in fact doesn't meet our criteria, or worse, doesn't decrease the cost. Like even internally at Microsoft, most of their systems are, not, let's say 80% of the time, it's a use this size of instance, but in fact it costs more. So I'm still having a hard time trusting any LLM system to help on our day-to-day problems. In infra, again.
Okay. Yeah, I see your
So
point.
so that's why I think the other area we started to discuss, and I know that all the part of extracting information, documentation, and so making a visual representation of which element is where, such as, okay, we have a virtual machine defined in that project, which is with Terraform, and it's maintained and provisioned with Puppet here or Ansible here or Kubernetes here. These information, though, are public, and I think the ability of having something we can ask an assistant like, hey, where can I find the definition of the infrastructure and where is the provisioning for the service CI Jenkins IO? Eventually, we could have something here to, let's say, decrease the entry barrier step.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so visualization, right? That makes
Yep,
sense. Yeah.
exactly. Visualization or, let's say, a powerful search engine, because GitHub search engine is bad. It's between bad and worse than bad. So I think even for the team, having the ability to having a channel in Elements, a dedicated channel where we can ask, I search this and it gives you links to resources. This could be useful along with visualization, visual representation.
Okay, I see. So we I know what to focus on now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that one should be easy because, so again, the main issue is in terms of usage, what I'm saying. The problem, again, is the compute. Compute as a cost, we already have issues to run basic CIs and web server. So if we need to add LLM, that means we need to first find a way to sponsor, even on short term, the additional compute. We don't have the ability. The investment is absolutely not possible unless you find someone that can bring 60 to 100K per year.
Okay. Yeah, we're just trying to do a POC just to see like what we can help out with.
Yep.
So bare minimum, not
Mhm.
like some kind of like an MVP. Yeah.
Just to make
So
sure, Damien, the question was where do we will need help from the LLM?
Um, what will be, Stefan, our pain points, day-to-day pain points related to infrastructure?
That would be solvable by an LLM.
Exactly. Not really. Be careful. That's a bias.
Yeah.
That's a bias. The question is, what are pain points related to data that are public for the infra?
Yeah, because like, yeah.
Is my understanding correct, Chris?
Yep. And but also have another question is like, if we switch like Terraform with OpenTofu, would that be okay for like for local setup at least?
What will be the reason for doing so?
Cause like for OpenTofu, you don't have to like pay for a license, but I'm not sure about Terraform licensing.
We don't have either.
Okay, I can look into.
The license issue is if you are a company that makes money from it, then you have to request a free license. But most of the Terraform usage we have on Jenkins is okay. Maybe one day we will have to switch to OpenTofu, but both projects already have diverged in the usages, and you can partially move to OpenTofu, but half of the provider we have doesn't work with OpenTofu. So since we don't have a problem, Terraform is still sustainable, is still open source, and is still working. So unless we see a reason that blocks us, we don't see any intent to move to OpenTofu just for the sake of doing it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, that
Okay.
will not be an easy move whatsoever.
Yeah, it's already hard to move to OpenTofu unless you have teeny project, but that's not our case. We have already 8 projects with Terraform.
Okay.
So yeah. So since we don't have the license problem, that could have been a really good reason to do so. We don't have any license problem, so yeah, we continue with Terraform.
Yeah, so we focus on the area like visualization or something to help to find out some already like some organization wise things we can do with the project. So I know what to focus on now.
If you find a way for the LLM to help us to move away from Puppet, go ahead. But
Yay. Could be possible, yeah. Let's try it. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Um,
I'm noob on LLM, so
Yeah, so search
yeah,
and visualization. Okay. Cool.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
And if in the research you're doing, you have example on existing LLM project that can help infrastructure in general, I'm interested to see use case because I still haven't seen real life use case. My
Yeah.
experience has been um, generating Terraform or Puppet code with LLM ends up in having security issues
Okay.
almost all the time because that's an attack vector, like a worldwide attack vector, where people try to write dumb Terraform code. So then Copilot or any LLM learn from these elements, and they try to do the same iteration with many accounts. So they try to influence the, the vector database that is extrapolated from this.
Okay. Understood. Yeah.
However, I've seen really nice use case where people not knowing a given code, and that could be our case in the near future. For example, we are going to get rid of Puppet. Most probably we'll go on Ansible. So writing code is absolutely out of question for security reason. However, that could be a help for Stefan, for instance, that never used Ansible. So if I write code or if we get code from somewhere else and put it in production, the LLM could help with an assistant that we can ask like, hey, can you explain me this or this or this? The prompts could eventually add reading and understanding code. And I guess LLM are really good at that, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. That's so cool. So yeah. Appreciate it, guys.
But again, the pain point here is the cost of running this. For a POC, if you are able to give us some, let's say, requirements in terms of machine and storage, we can evaluate the cost and say a yes, no question. But without data, it's hard to tell yes or no, because since it's a GSOC 1 point project, if it's
Yeah.
a 2 CPU, 2 GB, 10 GB disk machine, that's affordable. If it's 100 GB with GPU and stuff, that start to be out of question because the cost is not acceptable. So
yeah, the bandwidth costs too.
Okay.
that's why I'm asking if you have more precise requirements, even for a POC, no problem, we can allocate 1 or 2 VM or storage, but yeah, we need data in order to say yes or no.
Okay, yeah, we'll work on that. Okay. Thanks. Chirag, do you have another question?
Yes, like I want to ask like how much storage and RAM will be acceptable for such a project? Because currently I'm looking at albums which are 4 billion models, 4 billion parameter models as well, and they perform quite well on the data that I give to them. So maybe they can be used as well. There will be no need to use like projects. So which are having LLMs such as like GPT or maybe Cloud or maybe Quinn 253 billion models or something like that, which are the quite huge models, right? Just like you mentioned, key 100 GP models. So we will like not using those, only smaller models. So
I
how
think
much?
yeah, that's a question that those we just discussed. We have to find out first before because the info team won't know.
Okay, fine.
We have to investigate them now, yeah, and inform the info team to give them an estimate to see if they can support us for like an official testing phase. Okay, I think
Okay, I'm still not sure I cooked everything, but looks like you have. Chris, both of you don't hesitate to write an issue on the help desk explaining the questions and everything. So we have a written form and we can work asynchronously. So then we can check if our understanding is correct, and that could be a discussion support. So next week we will have most probably be able to prepare answer to your question if you have more. Will that
Yeah,
work for you?
cool. Yeah, sure.
Cool.
I'll do that over the next few days.
Cool. And if it's in 2 weeks, it's in 2 weeks. I mean, we don't have any rush here.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna drop off the call.
Cool.
It's gonna be a bit awkward. Yeah, I'll come back next time maybe.
Cool.
Bye,
Thanks for
guys.
being here and
Bye.
asking the questions. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm trying to take notes. Let's focus on the public data, which lacks easy entry, documentation, and visualization. Most of our data private and sensitive, maybe helping around the move back to Ansible needs to measure and specify the, the, the resource requirements so we can evaluate prices. Okay, did it capture what you understood, folks? Gotcha. Okay.
And Jay joined.
Hello, Jay. Hope you're not feeling too bad. We don't feel bad if you feel some pain. Please cut the computer, sleep, rest. Okay. Next topic. So something important to mention. So we have transferred the billing ownership of the Azure CDF thing to CDF. So someone from the Linux Foundation at the CDF is now is able to add payment methods. They have US-based billing address, and they should be able to discuss with support. So I closed all my issue in favor of theirs, and Linux Foundation is expected to take care of the payment part now. If you see any problem in the upcoming days, don't hesitate to ping them. And on their side, they will let us know and notify of any changes. I'm still the tenant administrator, so I can follow up and get back ownership if need be. But theoretically, they should have everything for paying. Um, Microsoft did lose the cost data since the 21 and again since the 26. Each billing ownership transfer. So LF CDF did ask for May data, which should be available after the 10 June. So which means we will be, for the Azure CDF paid account, we will be a bit blind, but theoretically, we still have access to see the data starting from today. We should still be able to see data starting today. So we will have to be careful on the consumption on CDF accounts, but most probably it will be way lower than the previous months since we did some efforts. Any questions? Okay, let's have a quick look at the upcoming calendar. Next week we will have a weekly release 2.5.13. Will be the 3rd June 2025. We have an LTS release tomorrow. Chris Stern is release lead. The version will be 2.504.2, which means as soon as it's released, given Stefan and I are off Thursday and Friday, we will have to deliver this to the whole platform before end of day. We don't have any publicly announced planned security releases. And I've listed the upcoming credential that will expire. Most of them can be done in 2 weeks. We have to be careful though for the Netlify token expiration because we only have 24 hours between next team meeting and this one. So I propose, Stefan, if you're okay, I'm gonna take the Netlify one. I'm gonna create the issue and do it either today or Monday. And I will delegate to you the others. Is that okay?
As you wish.
Okay. Let's allocate issue. So you will have the NPM one that can be this week or next week. It's up to you. And we have an upcoming Azure SP expiration that's in 2 weeks. We discussed that earlier today, Stefan. So the goal is, hey, let's try not to rotate that credential and instead move to Azure workload. So that means configuring the AKS cluster which hosts Infra CI so that it used the credential-less AOIDC system by Microsoft. We did that in Amazon for both virtual machine and EC2 and Kubernetes. So here the scope is for Infra CI, only for virtual machine in Azure. I've updated the issue, Stefan, and I will add it to this week milestone, even though there are no expectation given the short time. But at least the documentation I shared with you is also added in the issue. And I propose we defer these ones for next week. Any question? Okay, so let's have a quick look. No, cloud budget. I was late today, sorry folks. And given the time we took, I propose we jump over the cloud budget. We will check next Tuesday. I've checked them quickly yesterday with CDF and we are on track on everywhere. So no specific worries, we will report. We should consume less than the previous month is on Azure CDF. We should be at 3.2, 3.3. The rest is consuming. I need to check Azure sponsorships, but yeah, clearly the forecast was, we are still on the same forecast. So we should be around 10K consume right now.
I did update the AWS for CloudBees.
Thanks. The CloudBees one, thanks. Still on track. Good. Any question on the budget or can we continue? Nope. Okay, cool. Let's go on the milestone tasks. First, we were able to move, so Stefan was able to move all of our controllers and agents to JDK 21 runtime. Hooray. No more
Almost
annoying
without
work.
pain, almost.
Almost. Great work. No specific thing except now you know which image and which improvement we could have before JDK 25.
Yes. We'll
Cool.
try to migrate one at least to all-in-one, yes.
Thanks, Stefan, also for taking care of that credential. Works very well. We have closed the digital ocean issue because we are going to move to Ansible at a moment in time. The resources have been cleaned up and we forget about setting up a new controller. By the way, Azure announced depreciation of Ubuntu 2004 machines. Good news, no stopping existing one. And we can restore machine. We can recreate the machine from a snapshot, from disk snapshot, but not from empty OS installation image, which means we will need to take a snapshot of that machine if we want to restore it to a new machine.
Maybe
That's
we
all.
should take a snapshot to keep it in
Hmm?
case.
Yep. Are you okay to do it?
Yeah. Do you want me to do it right now to make sure?
No, we can do it afterwards. Let's take one today. The good thing, Stefan, is that once we have one, even if we wait 6 months, that's okay because the only change is on the code that is on
Yeah.
GitHub. So
Well, it's just the skeleton in the code is as code.
exactly, which means we shouldn't urge on doing something on Puppet and instead, as we said, focus on migrating to Ansible. Finally, we had a big issue with uplink, so the telemetry collection service, which was down because the database should have been migrated to a modern one by Microsoft 1 month ago. But it looks like with the payment issues we faced on CDF, and we still don't know the root cause, but we were marked in Azure system as no billing, no paid invoices. So they disabled the automatic migration and the database was stopped. Hopefully, they were able last week, after a few action and support exchanges, they were able to spin up the database again. So we started the service from scratch and we were able to retrieve the old data, archive it, share it with Daniel, and we started from a fresh new application. So it's done and it's ready for LTS tomorrow. So nothing else to add here. Thanks everyone for the help. I don't know if you have questions. Okay, so let's move to work in progress. Sorry for the dog sound. My dog has been a bit too enthusiastic. It's because I said Microsoft, so now he's barking. Anyway, jokes aside, now work in progress on the support parts. So there is still a discussion ongoing on Jenkins CI build that are unstable. I still don't see any infrastructure related action that we can take. Looks like the contributor have to spend some time on it. Neither Stefan or I have the skills for analyzing here because we don't know the internals of Jenkins core builds. But we keep the issue open, the discussion happens, and we just keep a watch on it. Any question on this one? So we keep it on the current milestone. On support, we still have Jira update. So no news from a Linux Foundation. No news from LF. Mark tracks this one. Well, is in September. So we're still fine. Any question? Okay, let me check. We don't have any more support like issues that are worked in progress. So now we have I still have the same. So I'm late today, sorry. I'm preparing the notes. On keep Jenkins infrastructure up to date or sane. We have OSU OSL decrease mirror dependency. That one hides a lot of changes. Given we have a weekly today and an LTS tomorrow and a short week, I've postponed the next actions. But archive now, archive Jenkins IO is the reference for get Jenkins IO content. Mirrors. So every mirror provider has been notified. They should switch to archive Jenkins IO. They still have 1 week. It has public rsync. So anyone can retrieve data from archive, at least for upcoming 7 days. Then we'll restrict by IP. So most of the mirror providers share their outbound IP, so we will be able to restrict. And the one that will have failure, we can identify contact, and if they don't answer, then we will just remove from the list. Any question on the OSUSL parts on what we were able to do? So next week, in switch sync script, PKG, archives. So the goal will be to change the workflow. Right now, we push to OSUSL and then we tell archive to get data from OSUSL. So next week, we will invert the logic. That's a big step forward on making PKG more and more autonomous and having less and less moving pieces. Now, GDK 25 is not there yet in the infra, but Stefan made some work on the requirement for that. Stefan, can you give us a heads up?
Yes, the idea is to do the Packer image use API adoption for the installation and the update CLI to have an easier way to provide GDK 25, which is not in the general available line, but on the early available line. Right now, I'm fighting with Windows. I will probably need to lower my expectation and try to work manually on an old, on a good, no, not old, but a good Windows machine before switching to the script. I try to go too fast. Um, yes, and I would like to finish the GDK 21 platform-wide one also before GDK 25.
Okay, that looks good on the note. Is that okay? Does it capture?
Yeah, for me, yes.
Cool.
Oh yeah, and I did add the checksum part for the install. Yes.
Nice job.
Mm.
Any question on that topic?
Bruno? No.
Okay, now Jay, if you're around, otherwise I will report for you. Monitoring the build on our private instances.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's still a work in progress. So I've started the third iteration of the pipeline library. We've decided to you wrap the entire logic of generating the JSON report in a shell script and then using the pipeline library to call that script in the controller. So yeah, it's, the work's going on.
Cool, thanks for the report. Any question? Okay. As far as I can tell, no blocker. Otherwise, we'll meet tomorrow or next week for this.
Yeah.
I'm reporting on Cloudflare. So we have Cloudflare Terraform build failing, so we cannot operate, apply change or manage resources on Cloudflare using our automated system. In case of emergency, we need to do it manually. Because the Terraform provider line for that something is broken, they have deprecated their API. So I'm fighting with the system because their migration doesn't work at all. It just breaks things. So I'm so migration script doc is broken or break things. So right now, public project, I'm working on a public project. Token management is also broken. So right now I'm working on the non-token part on the public project, and I'm writing code from scratch and importing existing resources. So right now, using the import technique in Terraform. So that means no more Terraform state for current resources until finished, which means don't expect Terraform to work at all. It's in a state where when I had to say, Terraform, please stop tracking these resources. So they continue existing in real life and doing a job for Update Center. And now I'm importing them step by step manually. And at the end, I will push, and so the project will be green. Then the next step, find a way to manage token from scratch. But the token are way more sensitive, and most probably that will be creating a new private project that will generate a new set of token along the existing one. Switch every system to the new token if it works, because that's the problem. That's the problem right now. You can create the token with Terraform, and then if you run Terraform a second time, it breaks the token. The token are still there, same value, but they lose their attributes. And the only answer on the issues by Cloudflare are closing issue with no message. Yes, same behavior. I think they are absolutely overloaded by the amount of issue and consequences of that breaking change. So let's say hug ups to them. That's all for me. Any question, Cloudflare? Okay, so now we have the following top level project. First, cloud usage. Paused due to the Azure billing issues. Next, issues to be created. Trusted CI and third CI controllers. These machines are over allocated as per Azure Advisor, and for once it's true. So we can move to lower instance quality. So we call that the standard B. The B family in Azure is an instance that have credits overline. It's the base instance. It allows bursting when you need more power until you reach a certain limit. So it's a kind of you have noisy neighborhood, but the cost is lower. So in that case, since the machine are too big in terms of memory, CPU, and not always using their resources, the controllers only, um, we can move to standard lower quality, or eventually see the cost moving to RM64, since CI, Jenkins IO, Release CI, and Infra CI are all there. So the goal is to compare the cost of decreasing the size of the machine, moving to ARM and going on standard B instead of standard D families. So we need an issue to report the different costs and see how we can project. ARM64, lower size, lower quality, per stable instance. That's not that much, but still that allows to gain a few bucks per month. Any question on the cloud usage thing? Mark follows up with AWS sponsorship. So they should give us an answer end of May or beginning of June. So in the upcoming 10 days, we will have an answer if we need to search for a new sponsor or if AWS will cover us up until summer 2026. So we should expect an answer soon. So right now we rely on Mark on that part. Any question? 1, 2, 3, okay. GDK 21 platform wide. Stefan, we had 3 remaining issue, right?
Yes, on the 3 remaining issue, we just closed 2 this morning as not needed and not planned. And the only one that is still up and running and that we need to handle is the Java home environment variable and the path to the default Java that need to now point on the GDK 21. That's all. But that means going through all the pipeline and everything. Yes. Yes, we discover, oh, you're muted, I think. We discover
Sorry.
on the bottom that right now it's using GDK 21 for the Maven calls, but GDK 17 for all the Java call in the pipeline, there is only one. So there's a little mix within the BOM build.
GDK 21 in the mailing list thread. So we also might want to switch Jenkins core build either 2.5.12 or 2.5.13. So next week or in 2 weeks. But we want to use GDK 21 to build it. Okay, I think that's all. Do you have other issues in progress?
We just want to open the discussion.
No, we want to let them know that we want to do that and when can we do it.
Oh, I was more open to the discussion. Okay.
We need to push forward.
Okay.
Any questions?
Oh no, that's a mistake from me. That's Docker packaging you're referring to.
Yes.
Yes, sorry. Thank you. Yes, we pushed, yes.
And the issue to triage. So we have a new issue to add in the next milestone. So Daniel mentioned that we're using 200 gigabytes on Gigit cache, while we don't need that much data. So as a reminder, thanks to Darren work on the former G-Center element, the storage on Artifactory went for 3.8 terabytes to 1.3. So that's a huge win. So that one could allow us to avoid storing hundreds to 200 gigabytes. Described in the issue is the work. It's not a direct infra thing. I think we need the help of Darren, Mark, and Adrian, so they can track which dependencies are strictly required in Git. So that one is on the new milestone. Need Darren, Mark, and Adrian's help here. Worth doing. Because if we continue decreasing the storage, Artifactory will have less resource usage and we will go lower under the radar at JFrog. I'm adding GDK 25 integration because it's almost there. Unless someone objects. I know people here that already started to work on it.
Maybe Bruno object now.
No, no, thanks.
And I don't see any other issue here that are worth working on in the upcoming milestone. Reminder that will be a short one. Oh, we have these two, sorry. We mentioned them. These are the two upcoming issues for GDK 21. One is going to be closed, and the other one is for Stephen.
Yep.
I think we're there. Do you have other topics or issue to add in that area?
Do we have any new issue?
They should let's look. They should have been integrated in this one, but worth checking once again. Desk issues, no new issues. So that's all for today. Do you have questions, folks?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, I'm gonna stop screen sharing. So for people watching us, see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.